So let's start here with this piece of paper I'm drawing a line across. This is just a rough line based on a field guide line. And I think where I've got it is at 8 field. Now I'm drawing a rectangle to rough in kind of where the figure is going to walk. Draw another line across. This is on the 9 field line. Inside this box, I'm going to draw just an outline of the head of a guy based on numerous drawings by one of my favorite cartoonists, Lee Lorenz, who's a cartoonist for the New Yorker magazine. Now, I can't draw like him exactly, so this is just my approximation of some of his characters. He draws these business guys usually, so I'm drawing a guy that's kind of wearing a sweatshirt and long pants, maybe sweatpants. So here I'm making the bottom of the ball for his body. These two lines represent his legs, the center line for his legs. This line here and this line are the outlines of the leg that's towards us. And then I rough in the slant for the pants falling on top of the shoe. So here's the far foot and here's the near foot just sticking out from his shoe. The little drape. Here's a line for his arm, his shoulder. Now here I'm bending his arm a little bit so it bulges a little bit in the middle and just roughing some fingers. I'm using a Collie Race light blue pencil, which is the pencil that my friends and I, most of us, started drawing in years and years ago. Now I'm switching to a Cobalt Hell, which is a German pencil. And I understand some of the guys used to use this at Disney way back in the day. And I'm just using this just to darken in some of the lines. A little shading for the far leg there. And this just makes it a bit easier to see the character. Go up and describe the ear. And here's the nose. So I'm literally just darkening in the Collie Race blue lines. Like I said, that was a light blue pencil. There is a Collie Race blue pencil that's darker. I made his eyes closed, his eyebrows up. This is an ebony pencil, and I didn't do the entire figure. I just did a few parts here and there. The ebony pencil has been bought and sold by, I think, 3 or 4 different companies since I've been using it. In addition to which, I think companies could put their name on an ebony pencil. Now, take a clean sheet of paper, and as you can see through the paper to see the figure underneath. So to start doing the walk, what I do is I lower the body down a bit, because as you walk, your body goes up and down. So here I've started with lowering his torso down. This is lowering his head down. And now I'm just drawing in the rest of the face just at a lower position than it was. His arm, we're going to swing his arm. So let's start by figuring out which foot's going to be out. Now I draw the other leg all the way through. His heel is on the ground and it's right about it's on the same ground plane as the far leg. So here's the near leg. When you walk, your foot slides back. This being a walk cycle means that the background will cycle through. there is a formula to do this mathematically to figure out exactly how far back his foot should slide as he walks. We're not going to get into that here, as just approximations are good enough for this exercise. Describe his fingers there. Now I put in some shading on that far leg just so you can see which leg is which, and continue drawing in the features of his head. Now we can take another sheet of paper, put that down on top. Now what we're going to do here is the opposite drawing, whereby the near leg is out in front and the far leg is behind. So I look through just so I can see what I'm doing and see where that far leg ground plane is. So it's the same pose as the near leg when the near leg was in this pose, but it's up higher because it's further away from us. But the body will stay in the same place. So I'm roughing that in and swinging his arm back. That was checking the arc of the wrist, or the bottom of the sleeve, I should say, for where his fingers will stick out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, his head will be in the same place. And I'm just drawing it from the bottom up this time. There's the ear. Eyebrow, eyelids closed. And here just describing the pant leg on top of the shoe. A little bit of shading so you know that's the far leg. As you can see, it's just the opposite drawing. His arm doesn't swing a ton. Doesn't go that far, it's just a slight arm swing. Here I need an eraser just to get rid of that line so it doesn't confuse. And now clean sheet. Now we want to make the drawing that goes up. This is called the passing drawing, the passing pose, because one leg is sliding back and the other leg is swinging forward. And as you do that, when you're walking, you go up slightly. So if you watch most people walk, they will have an up and down movement as they walk. In that their head will be high when it's in the middle of the stride, and when they put their leg out to take the next step, their head will be low because their legs are further apart, making, in essence, a triangle. Whereas when you're doing the passing movement, you're a straight line going from the ground up to the top of your head. But for the stride, there's a triangle of your legs, one leg out, one leg back, and the point of the triangle is right in the middle of your body. So here I'm just approximating the volumes of his body as he goes up. I'm getting the proportions from the still drawing where he was just standing. And this indicates that I'm using the far leg as the one in the middle on the ground, and the near leg is the passing leg. So it's up in the air. There's the pant leg. And he's not totally on his tiptoes like a ballet dancer, but his heel is up off the ground. Now that's just a personal choice. You don't have to do that. You can leave his heel on the ground. It's not required. I just did it to make him look a little bit different as he walks. A little bit of erasing here so that things don't get too confusing. And put down the other drawings. So I can see where I'm going to, where I'm coming from. Now this is called flipping the drawings. Now there's the first drawing I did. There's the passing drawing. And here you can see the leg, the foot goes down and slides back as he walks. And now this is the next drawing. His leg goes out and the other foot slides back. Now we need another drawing of the opposite leg passing. So we just put the two extreme drawings down in reverse order. Clean sheet of paper. And as we flip, we can see where we need to go. Now we want the near leg to be the leg where he's slightly up on tiptoe, just so his heel is up in the air. And we'll just do a rough placement of where that leg and foot are. And as we flip, we can see what needs to be done next. Now put in the bottom of his torso. And this is his, that'll be his far leg passing for this drawing. And it's just like that drawing, but this leg will be higher because it's further away from us. And we want to make it look like it's in a different spot. Fill it in with some blue so we know that's the far leg. And then basically this becomes a tracing of that drawing. Now I could have made the arm just out of position just a little bit just to differentiate the placement, but the arm is not that important in this particular walk cycle to tell the story or anything, so we can leave it in the same place. And now putting in the nose and the mouth, the eye closed. And like I said, this is basically a trace back of that drawing, except for the legs. Now we take the drawings off. And now let's put them in order. So that drawing will be first. Here's the passing drawing that's next. Here's the next stride drawing, and here's the next passing drawing. And when we flip these drawings, there's that one. And as you see, the near leg passes and slides back. Then the far leg stretches out to make the next step. And now the far leg slides back as the near leg passes. And that will go into the first drawing. And that's why this is a cycle, because it will go right from that drawing to this one. Now let's number them. To make this a snappy walk, the in-betweens will be on thirds. So I put a number at the bottom of the first one, number 1. There's the one at the top, and now these drawings become 3, 5, so this one at the bottom becomes 7. Next one, thirds, 7 at the top, 9, 11, this drawing is 13. Next drawing, thirds, 13 at the top, 15, 17, this becomes number 19. Go back to the first drawing, and since this was 19, is going to go here, 21 and 23. Next lesson will be in-betweening this walk cycle, and we'll get a nice snappy walk out of it.